Hi all, welcome to my little tailoring blog. Now I'm on the very last stage of completing a bespoke jacket. I'm sure some of you have seen me along the way, along the stages, the various stages. I've actually been making this jacket up, so I've given you a little glimpse into how a bespoke jacket is made. Now I'm putting the last button on, so it's all been pressed. So I've done a little blog on pressing. It's all been pressed. Done the button and I'm putting the last button on. I have done a little tutorial on your placement of your buttons, so I'll put a link on this video for that, and also I've done an in-depth instructional video on how to make buttonholes as well, so that will be in this blog as well. Now I've also done another tutorial, as you know I like to help sewers all over the globe, on how to attach your buttons in a very professional, like a lot of tailors will do it. So, but I'm going to do it again here because there's a variation which I'm going to show you in today's little tutorial. So I'll put another link up. So I'll put 3 links on this button as well. So I'll show, there's another tutorial I'm showing you how to make the button, not how to make it, you know, how to attach the button to the jacket. But I'm going to do a slight variation on that today. So hopefully you'll all benefit from. Now, I cannot emphasize enough, when you're putting buttons on in whatever design you're doing, whether it's dresses, jackets, blouses, waistcoats, whatever design you're doing, always try and use button thread. Now this is an old load of button thread I've actually got from a retired tailor. So this is actual button thread I've got. So I'm just going to get some of this off. Usually it will come off in each strand, but it won't this time. But this is really strong. You can see how strong that is. Now, you can't really break that. You can, but it's very difficult to break it. So that's what you should always use, a button thread. You can get it from quite a few places. I'm sure Gutterman, I'm sure a lot of you use Gutterman threads. I think Gutterman do button thread as well. But tailor trimming merchants will do it. So just source them. Now, I've already marked my button. Now sometimes I use beeswax, especially when I'm making buttonholes with silk thread. So sometimes when you're doubling it, 'cause sometimes you can use a single thread and sometimes you can use a double thread. For this one I'm going to use a double thread. It's just quicker. Now sometimes when you use a double thread, there's a tendency for the thread to knot. So sometimes I'll actually use this beeswax. Some of you may have this stored away somewhere, and I may use that. But there's another way you can to stop, because this is used to stop it from knotting, and this is very good. But there's another way, a quicker way. You just get your steam iron, because sometimes there's static of the thread when it's going through the fabric. You can create static, and that's what can cause some of the knotting to appear. If you just get your, before you thread it through, I just get my hot iron, a little bit of steam, and that will help the threads from stopping from knotting up. So there we have it. Now, I'm going to show you another variation of putting buttons on. So I'll just get my lovely military buttons here, like blazer buttons. So you knot it, you'll go from the right side, so you go right to the other side. You can see I've gone right to the wrong side, and then that goes in there. Now this knot here, sometimes try and get the little tail right, cut off right down to the knot itself. You don't want to have any bulk or things sticking out. So now that's gone to the wrong side. Then I'm going to come back up to the right side again, and and that's it. That's all you're gonna see. Some tailors will actually go through. Sometimes I do go through. Sometimes you go through the wrong side, but you'll have a little of the button thread showing on the wrong side. Some tailors don't like that, especially when you're doing high-end couture work or bespoke tailored work. Some tailors don't like it showing on the wrong side. You can do it. You get more stability if you've got some buttons, but sometimes they'll attach another button. especially for coats on the wrong side. That will gives it more stability for the 2 buttons. But what I'm going to do is get the right side, the right way up. Right, here we go. So pass through my little stem, and then I don't go through now. Can you see? I don't go through there. See, I just catch the bottom layer. So I'm not going through at all. See, it's not gone through at all. And that's all I'm doing for this version. There's 2 versions I do. If you see my tutorial, I actually go through on one of my jackets, but this one I'm not going through. So I'm showing you 2 different methods. So I suggest you learn both methods, and then you can choose which method you want to learn. And then what I do is I'll go through the little stem again here, the little clasp thing here, and then I'll just go catch it, but don't go through the bottom layer. Just barely catch the bottom layer. See, it hasn't gone through. And you do that for the whole, for all the buttons. Because it's double thread, I don't need to push it through the little clasp many times. Probably one more time will suffice. And then that's it. It's a little bit more awkward this way, instead of going right through, but you get a neater finish. And I'll just go through one more time for good luck. So I'm just going to just catch that little layer there. Not going to go through to the bottom at all. You've got to make sure that's fine. And then what I'll do is go through one more time. It says 3 times I've done it. Sometimes you can do it twice or 3 times. And then I'll go through to the wrong side to secure it. And then what I'll do is I'll go through, I'll go through under that fabric, and then I come out, see, I'll come at maybe 1 inch, so that secures it. And then, there you go, you virtually can't see it, there's nothing on the wrong side. And that's one version I do. And there we have it, that's in now. So if you look at my other tutorial, I actually go through the fabric. So there's a variation. This is the first variation of that. So hopefully that's helped you a little bit, and I will see you on my next blog, which will be this jacket on the dress, on the dummy, the dress form, and then also hopefully my customer will pick it up